coughing fit. Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the #1 internet talk network, and we want to thank you for that because it is because of you, you all watching, that makes that so. And so we want to really show our appreciation to you. So, of course, you guys can comment, subscribe, like everything that we do. We greatly appreciate it. Tonight, we're going to be talking on here I had it up already, the boy and girl thing. And I am Cece Shatz, the Doyenne of relationship building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach. And I am the president of the Going Solo Network. And
Absolutely,
that's about all that I do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Christopher Salute. I'm trying to share our show on all these different platforms. I feel like there's so many out there. But really excited to chat with you today, Cece. How you feeling, by the way? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting better. So I just want you guys to know that there's a whole bunch of letters after Dr. Salute's name. And he's an MBA, a PhD. He's the CEO of his company, and he's a life and relationship coach. And I know that he, is happy to work with you. So if you're interested, just reach out to him. But yeah, I will tell everyone that I have been really under the weather. I've been having, like in January, I had COVID. And then I started having trouble with my blood pressure here now, so much so that I actually had to go to the hospital, and it actually triggered a mild heart attack. So that's one thing. And then I caught this horrible, miserable cold that we get when we're in Florida, so that we suffer. So I'm trying to get better with that. But I'm actually on the mend. It looks like there was no damage to my heart, and that I'll be here for a long time, you guys, so not to worry about that. So,
good. I'm
only
glad
the good guy, young.
Absolutely. Make sure you're practicing that self-care. Speaking of self-care, what we're talking about today is self-care versus partnership and a relationship. And normally, Cece, I feel like these things kind of come up because I experienced them in my relationship, and I really didn't. I just thought to myself, what does that look like, right? I mean, Megan's gonna be moving in the next couple of weeks, and there's gonna be time for me time, right, and her time, and how does that look? You've probably been in some longer relationships than I have. Is this something that's crossed your mind before?
Yeah, because you feel sometimes, here we go. Hello. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're doing okay, Cece. Thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think what it is that we get involved because we really truly care for our partners, and we don't realize that we kind of slip away from taking care of ourselves. And we really do need to do that, because what it does is it kind of energizes us, it refreshes us. It gives us an appreciation for our partners because we miss them sometimes when we're doing some of this stuff that we're kind of, soul searching or whatever. And it's an important thing to do. So it's like everything in life, right? Creating that balance that we need. It's hard to create the balance.
Oh, 100%. So interestingly enough, and I'll chat with you a little bit about. Sorry, I'm finally done sharing the show. I wanted to chat with you a little bit. I did some research today on kind of what self-care and relationships look like. And here's the funny thing is everything that I read was completely contradictory. So some websites say there's no such thing as self-care in a relationship. Other folks say there's only we. Some folks say you need to prioritize yourself. So what do you think? I mean, you're the Doyenne of relationships. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there is self-care. There's certain things. I mean, I remember when I was married before, we were married for 18 years. So my ex-husband always had his office, right? It was always his place, his place to go to.
What about your office? Where's your office?
To try to get out of doing household chores, right? That's what he used to do. No, I used to tease him for that, but actually nag him. But but he had his own space, and we honored that and respect that. And he needed to go there. He had a TV in there. I'm actually in my daughter's office tonight. So I'm dog sitting for a week while she's gone. But and she have a beautiful color in her house, her place. So,
I love that. What kind of dog?
She's got 2 dogs. It's kind of I forget what it's called. It's a kind of like a Shih Tzu type of dog, hairy, fluffy, looks like Gizmo. His name is
Yeah.
Gizmo. He looks like Gizmo. And then the other one is Tucker, and he's a Yorkie. And then she has Teddy, who is the bunny she got at Easter. She got a bunny at Easter. So yeah. So we have a little farm right here. But yeah.
Absolutely,
but it's
cool.
fun. But this is her office. She's got a nice office, and she's got a big screen TV and stuff, because I think we need that little place to go to, right? So maybe when Megan moves in, maybe you create, your office space, and that gives you a place to go to, and she can create something for herself to do. But I do think it's important that we're able to have that quiet time that we need, away from our partners. It's important. Yeah, definitely.
So what are some of the things that you would do? So your ex-husband was in the office, and that doesn't sound like self-care as much as it sounds like maybe workaholism, but maybe he had some time there as well. What would you do when he was out in his office? What were the things that you did to self-care for yourself?
Well, I think for me, he traveled a lot. So when he was home, we spent a lot of time together. And so we did appreciate that. So I think, for me, one of the things I do is I like to go get my nails done. That's a big treat for me. So I would get my nails done, you get your hair done. Girls would do different things. Now I'm actually going away with my girlfriends for a week. We're going to be going to Siesta Key in May. We're going to be gone for a week. I'll still be working, from there, from the beach house. But we rented a house on the beach, and we're going to be going, and that's going to be fun. So it's things like that. I mean, your life doesn't need to stop, because you're in a partnership. And I think so. It's creating kind of those boundaries that you have to softly develop, right? As you come together, you have to kind of softly figure out what your priorities are. Now, granted, do you hang with the girlfriends as much as you used to? Probably not. You probably just don't, because there's just not enough hours in the day. But it doesn't mean you can't, you should never not be able to do something.
Yeah. So one of the websites that I was reading this morning said, when you're having trouble, have an honest talk with your partner and talk about, what will make you happier. How does that sound, right? So think about it like this. When I say things like I want to take a little space to do some self-care, or when I hear that, I got to be honest, Cece, the first thing I think about is, does this person not like me? They want to spend time away from me? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. I think when you approach it like that, you're kind of leaving it open, right? It's like, I need to just get away, right? But the reality is you do need to get away. And so I would suggest putting a plan together, like what we did, my girlfriends, we planned on a trip, and then I'm going to be going in June and July to visit my son. So I'll be gone some too. And so, I mean, those are the kind of things that it's things that you still want to continue to do in your life, but you do have to respect your partner to, okay, you're going to be gone. What is he going to do? Now it's the time for him to be able to go and visit friends if he wants to, or do something else that he wants to. See, what you do is kind of put together a plan that you both want to go and do stuff. But, there's the big stuff like me going away. Now that's a pretty big going away thing, right? But then you've got the everyday living stuff. Like, sometimes you just need, a little bit of quiet time, or you might want to go work out in the gym, or, vice versa. So you have, the beauty of a relationship is that you have interests that are together, but then you don't have all of your interests that are together, which makes you kind of exciting, makes you, kind of fun to be with. So you want to continue the interests that you have that's important to you. And that's what you would do in your, in your self-care. And there could be a lot of things on self-care. It could be working out. It could be, just really controlling your diet. Let's say each of you have different eating habits, right? So you want to respect each other. So that's self-care, right? It's not good if you're like, let's say one partner's on a diet, and then the other partner brings in all this junk food, your favorite stuff,
Right.
Like it's like, okay, what they need to do is bring in the stuff maybe you don't like. Like for instance, I don't like peanut butter really. I mean, I'll eat it, but I
Right.
don't like it. So if you bring in ice cream with peanut butter in it, I probably won't eat it. But if you bring ice cream in that's the flavor I like, guess what? I'm knocking you down to get your ice cream.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of stuff. Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah. So, it's interesting. I think about this a lot, and I think about, prioritizing self-care. I also think, it's a little bit more challenging for men to even use the phrase self-care, you know what I mean, when we're just trying to get away and do our thing. So yeah, gym time, working out could be some form of self-care. I know Megan and I specifically, we don't live together, so it's a little bit easier to do this, but there oftentimes I'll be like, look, I do online therapy like on my own time. I just kind of type out what I want to my therapist, and she kind of gets back to me when she can. But if I don't schedule time to do it, I won't do it. So sometimes I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to take an hour, go to therapy, do some writing. Sometimes she'll even remind me, she'll be like, you're kind of a little edgy today. Did you do any self-care? Like, did you meditate? Did you pray? Did you take some time to breathe? And that's when I know I'm probably ticking her off a little bit. I'm probably, taking too many liberties or saying something that I shouldn't say. So for us, it's a little bit easier. The one thing I think about when I think about the version of self-care you mentioned with your girlfriends, I think that men come under fire a little bit when they try to do that. And the reason is, right, we typically see in media as well as in real life, men going out together as a group or taking a vacation out together as a group typically means they're going to do something they shouldn't be doing. So it's really hard for us to say, Cece, I want to go take a guy trip. The first thing you're going to think of, I think, is something that's unsavory.
Yeah, I know, and that's a hard thing for, I think when people that have been married a long time, they don't really have those kind of issues. They feel a little bit more secure in the relationship. Those that are dating, they feel a little bit uneasy about that. And I will admit that my boyfriend was a little bit like, you're going away for a week. And then in January, I wanted to share too, we're doing a singles cruise, right? I wanted to share with you about doing the singles cruise. Maybe you and Megan can come.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're couples, and you're just as long as you're not married, that's really when
that's fine.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that in January, and he's not too sure if he really wants to go, and then he's not too sure if he wants me to go without him. So, I mean, he's like thinking that over. So it's like,
I have my thoughts on that. I'll keep to myself.
Yeah.
And I get that. And, it's interesting. Megan and I had that conversation a little while ago with regards to one of the lounges that we like to go to. And we kind of had like a little conflict because I thought she was saying that she didn't really want to talk to anybody that night. And, I'm a really social dude. And so, for me, it was really important that we kind of engage with folks and have friends. I think when you're insecure about being on this kind of singles atmosphere, a couple of things. One is there are a lot of couples that just aren't together a long time. I mean, your generation stayed together a lot longer than our generation does. So, we're together 3-5 years. That's a long relationship. When you're together 20 years, there's nothing you haven't seen with each other, right? So I'd be like, go, Cece, go ahead. Go. Enjoy your time. I know you know where your bread is buttered. If you wanted to leave, you would have left already. Go have fun. And the reality is, as a man in his 50s or 60s, right, who's been married for 20 or 25 years, also understands one very important thing about women getting together that men do not do when they get together. Do you know what that is?
No. What do you say? What they...
So, the one thing that women do when they get together that men don't do is completely ignore the opposite sex. When y'all get together, you're not worried about men in the room. You are enjoying a good time together. Right. Versus
I mean,
men,
that's not to say we don't say, hey, look at him. He's pretty good looking. Or something like that. But yeah. But no, we're absolutely. Yeah.
Your night isn't dependent on whether or not you flirt with a man, right? Whereas and it's disgusting. Every bachelor party I've ever been on, actually, it's typically the married men are the worst. I'm usually, because I'm not married, I'm like, yeah, dude, go ahead, do your thing. They just want to hook up. They want to flirt. They want to go to the strip club, or worse, they want to, go get, they want to hook up with someone who's not at the strip club. And so it's, when you talk about self-care in that regard, I think men are at a bit of a disadvantage in asking for that. And rightfully so. It's kind of our fault. We kind of dug our own graves there.
So, okay, so I'm putting that on my list that's one thing that he can't do is go to a bachelor party. No
It's
bachelor party. So
yeah.
no. But
It's funny though.
well, I mean, okay,
Yeah.
here it is. It comes down to the quality of the individual, right?
Yeah.
And so if you are going to be doing something that's inappropriate in your relationship, if you're going to be stepping out, doing something that's not going, you're just going to do it anytime, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're just
Well, you'll find the time.
and you're using self-care as an excuse or as your window open that you
Yeah.
can do something like that. So, but I think the majority of people, they're really not like that. They just want a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time alone, a little bit of time to work on themselves, doing some personal grooming or whatever, or just maybe to have fun. Like the guys go, play golf or something like that.
Yeah.
They get together and do that. We have lots of, in my age group, we have a lot of people that do things like that. And the girls will go do something else, and that's just a nice time away from each other. You come back and talk about what you guys did, and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, I think that, again, it's the quality of the individual. It's the priority of the relationship. Do you make your relationship priority? Do you make your partner priority? And you can make your partner a priority and still have self-care. You can still have that. So it's creating that balance, right?
And it's funny you mentioned that, the quality of the people. So I read on social media the other day, somebody had said, it was like a meme, and somebody had said, when I was with my ex, I was always afraid every time he went out with his guys, and the reason was he cheated on me, and his guys applauded him. Like I heard through the grapevine that they thought it was cool, She said, my boyfriend just went out for one of the first times without me and just the guys. I felt completely safe because I've heard them as a group talk about how it's disgusting to cheat on your partner. And she said, it's the company he keeps that's going to make me feel better about that. When I do kind of group self-care with my guys, we do cigar night. And, the only thing that really changes when the women, are with us, whether it's partners, girlfriends, friends, whatever, the conversation changes a little bit, but nothing else changes. We don't go to cigar night and start looking for women. A, because there's not a lot of women at the cigar lounge, right? But B, it's just not what we're there. It's not what we're there. We're there to get out of the house, to enjoy some male on male time, some time where we could just cut loose a little bit, vent a little bit, talk about, we're all Freemasons, so talk a little bit about our masonry, right? And kind of have that conversation. So I think you're right. I think it depends on the integrity of the person and the company they keep.
Right, absolutely. And so, if that's the case, then you really need to have a conversation. If there's someone that you have in your, in your surrounding, in your circle, that's telling you to cheat and do things that are not appropriate, then you need to question that friendship because they're not honoring you. Because if they ever encourage you to do something that's not appropriate to your lifestyle, appropriate to your well-being, appropriate to your mental thoughts, your integrity, you're hanging with the wrong person. You're definitely hanging with the wrong person. And so I think all of us in a relationship, we want that security. We want to feel secure. And it is up to us as individuals to give that to our partner, to allow them that, that freedom of knowing that no matter where I go, what I do, who I'm with, who I'm talking with, that, my heart, my body, my soul still belongs to you. And so I think that that's our responsibility as a person to our partner. And so, and I think that if they're hanging with the wrong people, they need to wise up, grow up, and get in the real world, because that's not the way it's done.
Yeah. I agree with that. So I'm looking through some of these websites, Cece, and I'm seeing a couple things. So self-care alone is great, right? Challenges to meet them. The other website that I see that really is interesting. What about self-care as a couple? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's great. Like you go and get, mani-pedis done. I think that's awesome. You can go and get massages. I mean, I did this with my ex, but we went to a spa and got them a massage and did a weekend type of thing and did all that. That was kind of fun. But yeah, you could do a lot of things like that. That would be fun,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
there's a bunch of things you can do.
The list that they give, and we've done that too. So one of Megan's things for me that I love, I almost never, and by almost never I mean probably never, get myself a pedicure, but I enjoy it so much when my feet are nice and smooth and relaxed and good. And so one of the things that Megan tends to do almost every time we get together, and we see each other a lot more now. So maybe half the time we get together is she will plan and book a pedicure for the two of us. And she pays. I think maybe I paid once or I tipped a couple times, but she pays. And it's hot. I mean, it's hot to be taken and pampered and I like to just enjoy that time with her. And they got the massaging chair that's I'm having fun there. And then, she does some sexy stuff. Like she lets me pick her colors of her hands and her feet. And that's kind of cool. I get to have that kind of dominance and control, and that's fun. So it's just a good time. Now the list that they gave me, I hate. I'm gonna read. There's 6 of them, and tell me if you like any of these.
All right.
The first, and these are all self-care supposed to be. Okay, so I'll read them real quick. 1 is declutter your home. 2 is try meditating together. That's not terrible. 3 is becoming workout partners. 4 is adding colors to your meal, like cooking together.
Yeah.
5 is working on a home project together. 6 is getting back to nature. So I'd say half of these are decent. Decluttering my home and doing a project together, why is that self-care?
Well, it's really spending time together. I think that, it's, under Megan said something there. I don't know if you saw that.
I know.
But it's understanding your love language, right? So it's one of the things. And so maybe their love language is, spending the time together. And so maybe they like working on things together. They like a project. They want to, they're fixing up their house. And so this is a dream for them. And so let's say they're going to be, picking out tile and picking out carpeting and, doing whatever they're going to be doing to do their house. It's something that they're building together on, they're building towards. So I would say that if it's your home or whatever, then you are, I guess it's self-care, self-development, type of thing. And it's just nice to be with your partner working on some things, providing you can do that in a way without arguing with
right.
With them, if you can do that without being a problem. But yeah.
See, to me, I don't know. I think of it like this. So Megan and I do that all the time, right? So we very rarely. So we have virtual check-ins, right? She moves here in a couple of weeks, so we'll have real check-ins. But we have our virtual check-ins via Google Meet or Zoom, and very often I was finding that we had like nothing to talk about because we talked all the time or we had no agenda. And so it just was a silly time, and that's fun too. But now we kind of set agendas where we like go through something. We plan a vacation, we plan a weekend, we go through some line items and stuff. So that's, to me, that's doing stuff together, decluttering your home, doing stuff together. To me, it doesn't feel like self-care as much as like going on a hike. I wouldn't say cooking a meal. That seems like a chore. I would say ordering food in and like putting your PJs on together. That to me seems like self-care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, cooking, it could be, let's say you pick out a recipe together and then you guys make it together. It's something that you actually do together. I think it really just depends on the couple and what they like to do. They might do a recipe, do something, they each work on it together and have a nice glass of wine or something like that afterwards or whatever. I mean, it's really kind of what rocks your boat and what makes you happy. But it's really coming together as as a partnership, right? Coming together as a partnership. But then you've got the personal, individual self-care. So I mean, I think that the both of them are important and we can't mix them up. I mean, I think that it's important that we still allow our downtime. We still allow, because I'm like, for me, believe it or not, it's hard for people to realize, but I'm actually a very quiet person. And so I like very quiet. And, my house is very quiet. My dog hardly ever barks. I mean, she hardly ever barks because I'm just a real quiet, Zen kind of person. And so So I kind of need that, even though I love to go out and I'm excitable and I do a lot of fun things. And when I'm out in a group, I'm, kind of the center of whatever's happening. But when sometimes I just need that downtime, I just need that quiet,
Absolutely.
Give me a good Hallmark movie or HGTV show. That's my downtime,
That's funny. My mom calls the Hallmark channel the movie channel. I'm like, Mom, that's not a movie channel. It's the Hallmark channel. It's not HBO.
Oh yeah, it is a movie channel. I agree with her. That's our kind of movie. I'm with your mom.
Funny story. So last time when Megan met my mom in December of last year, I had to go one night with. Funny enough, had to go out with the guys. So my dad and my brother belonged to a country club, and Megan originally was not supposed to come to New York, but she did because we had a wedding to go to. So I was doing both, right? Wedding and the trip. And so she comes, and I said to her, Megan, my dad and my brother really want to do this thing. This guy's, it's a men's night at the country club for the holidays. I said, I kind of said to my dad, I don't know if I can make it, and he kind of gave me some crap about it, so I'm going to go. So I bring Megan to my mom's house for the night because you're right, me and my dad are both out, and when I come home, I want to say I may have made this, I may have exaggerated, but I think they're crying. They're both crying watching the Hallmark channel together. Like that's what I see them doing. And I'm like, you're infecting my girlfriend, Mom. Now she's going to want to watch the Hallmark channel all the time.
Now you're going to get Megan. She's going to be replying to this one. You know that. Yeah. I think sometimes self-care is doing something that takes care of the part of you that is aching for support. So cooking is self-care for someone who struggles not to eat takeout all the time. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good observation. Yeah.
Super good point. Very cool. So one of these lists that I really love online, this is goodtherapy.com or .org, gives you 20 different things to do self-care, and I loved it. Now we're talking not cup of self-care, but regular self-care. Reading, engaging in an academic pursuit, going to a cultural event, going to the movies. One thing that I love when I'm in a relationship is going to the movies by myself. You tell me how you feel about this. So when I go to the movies, when I tell you, I love Megan more than, anybody can love anything. I still don't want to share my popcorn. And so when we go to the movies and we're sharing popcorn time after time after time, sometimes it's just nice to go to the movies by myself and have my own popcorn, get my own snacks. It doesn't mean that I don't love her. It just means sometimes I want my own hot dog nuggets. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe there's a movie, that you want to see and she doesn't want to. That's like me. I know there's movies out there that I wouldn't really want to see.
Right.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. So what do we conclude tonight? I think that we've concluded a couple of things that it really all depends on the individual, right? But the self-care is something that you should make time for. And I think you're right about this in that couples who've been together longer practice self-care more because they are more secure that they're going to come back. I think that what we find is the newer couples, and I'm going to say it, generationally, people are just not lasting long enough to be secure enough to give them their space.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it really is when you haven't been together that long, you don't want to give each other space. No, you're good. Get some water.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Well, we're wrapping up anyway, so don't worry about it, Cece. I don't want to kill you while we're doing this. Make sure you're doing some self-care and practicing some self-care, and if you need to cough it out.
Yeah, it's tough when you've got a cold. Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think that be respectful of your partner, most certainly. I'm losing my voice. Be respectful of your partner, and you've got to remember that if you're coming into a relationship that's pretty new, what you're trying to do is build that relationship. And so
Absolutely.
What you want to do is take it in baby steps as you go along. Don't incorporate, oh, well, this is my weekend for self-care. I'm sorry, babe, I'm out of here. You can't do something like that. Yeah. You've got to kind of slowly, it's communication. It's really, making sure that your partner feels secure, not only with you and what you're doing, So talk it through, talk it out, making sure that it's okay. Set boundaries, and maybe there's going to be some limitations along the way, because maybe there is something that, maybe you didn't think about, and your partner says, hey, wait a minute, this may not be a safe thing for you to do, that kind of thing. I know that my boyfriend was a little bit concerned about us girls going away and what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be at, and is it going to be safe? And so, all those questions are answered and everything is fine. And so it's those kind of things you want to make sure that it's good, but you want to be respectful enough to take it slow and build on your relationship. So as you start doing them, and sometimes you just got to be flat out honest and say, hey, I just need a little time for, me. I want to read a book. I want to do something. There's something I want to get done. And I'm going to do it, myself. Or honestly, when I go get my hair done, I really don't like anybody see me. So I prefer to be that by myself. If you want to come with me on a mani-pedi, I'd love to have you. But when I'm going to get my hair like food and stuff like that, I really don't want to look ugly in front of you.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. I can appreciate that. Funny enough, and I know we got to wrap up. So I had, I think he's an uncle, very wealthy uncle in New York, and not everyone can do this, but this was his secret to a long lasting relationship. He and his wife been together for 40 plus years. They each have their own walk-in closet with their own bathroom attached. So they wake up in the morning, they enter their dungeon or whatever you want to call it, their magic room, and they come out a completely different person. It smells good, tastes good, and looks good. And so he says, secret to a happy marriage is that. And I said, well, not everyone can afford, two walk-in closets with two separate bathrooms in the master bedroom. So
but I know that's true, because like I went shopping. We were looking for houses, and we went looking, and this one builder was doing that, was building his and her bathroom.
Yeah.
So hers had a bathtub in it so that she could do soaking, and his had a shower.
Yeah.
And so so you could do that. I'd be in his bathroom all the time, because honestly, I don't have the time to take a bath.
Yeah,
I'd be in the shower all the time. So I'd be like, sorry, honey, move over. So,
absolutely.
But
I feel that.
So and I guess there's certain things that you want to do in private. So that would be some self-care stuff that you want to do,
absolutely.
And that kind of thing. You don't really want your partner around for that. So those kind of things. But world does not stop revolving or existing because you're in a partnership,
Right.
So you need to keep moving forward, keep doing the things that you like to do, that you love to do, share it with your partner, make sure they're on the same page. And if there's some things that they might enjoy doing with you, then what the heck, let's do it,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Well, thanks so much for your advice on this. I mean, this is going to be a big topic for me. I guess it was relevant. When Megan moves in, we're going to have to figure out how to self-care and care together. So it's going to be very
we'll have to get Megan on here, and she can tell us.
Absolutely.
Tell us all this stuff.
She'll be the first to tell you I'm the worst at self-care. So she needs to she gets on my case about that. But anyway, thank you so much, Cece.
Well, this is great. Oh, we're kind of losing you there. But again, I think we're getting ready to close out the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, you're listening to the Boy and Girl Thing. I am Cece Shatz. I have my good friend here with me, Dr. Christopher Salute. And we're a bi-weekly show. So we'll see you next time around.
Absolutely. Okay? Thanks so much, Cece. And thanks, everyone, for watching WGSN. See you soon. Barbershop's coming up next. So give us a watch.
Yeah, hang on for the barbershop. You're going to be talking about what? Social media for men?
How to conduct yourself as a man on social media, I think, is super important.
Yeah, I want to hear that. So that's something good I can share with my son. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to the barbershop. Bye.
You got it. Bye, Cece.